Alright. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is October 22nd, 2025. That is a band called Celtic Spirit. Some bagpipes. Figured I'd do something a little mellow today. So, a little inside baseball. Woke up kind of early, then I ate and went back to sleep because I'm like, no, I gotta go to work later today. And I don't know about you guys, but I like my sleep. But I did send off a sticker and a card and a little note for Old School Dave. If you would like to purchase a sticker, that's what it looks like. It's a bumper sticker with gloss. You can put it on your car, put it on your laptop, or you can just keep it in a binder somewhere if you just like collecting cards and stickers and stuff. A link below, buy me a coffee account. If you send in, Old School Dave sent in $10. I think the minimum is $5. If you want to send in $5 or something, I'll send you a sticker. And you can message through the Buy Me a Coffee app, so then you're able to send me an address so I can send it to you. Hook a brother up. But so I went and mailed that off today. And the closest mailbox is like a couple miles away. It's at a gas station, and down the road from this gas station is a toy shop. And I know the guy, his name's Jimmy. I believe it's called Jimmy's Toy Shop. I wish I could give him a proper shout out. Sorry, taking my medicine. My head meds. Anyways, I walked in because I don't get to go up there often, and every time I'm in the area, it's on a side of town that I don't go to very rarely. So every time I'm in the area, I stop by and talk to Jimmy for a while. He'll talk your ear off, man. And just check out what he's got. He's got old video games, old movies. It's like a nerd shop, dude. But every time I go in there, I end up talking to the dude 20, 30 minutes sometimes. I go in, and him and another customer are talking Jim Morrison, Never Died. Then they get into the Rothschilds. And so, of course, knowing me, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I jump right in. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. So I'm sitting there talking conspiracies and shit with them. And a fire department guy comes in, an inspector, checking out, making sure the place is safe, whatever. So me and this customer head out the door. I tell the guy, I'm like, hey, you like conspiracy theories? Here you go. Here's a card. So I might have a new listener. That'd be cool. Hell, I'd be willing to interview the dude, because the dude, we got into 9/11, Rothschilds. I mean, the dude knows conspiracies, which is pretty cool. So hopefully we got a new listener. But I got the sticker mailed off to you, Old School Dave. And as far as updates, that's about it. So I want to get into this. Today is going to be a non-paranormal episode. I know for the month of October, I try to focus on paranormal shit. But this story's crazy. I was listening to, I believe it was Tinfoil Hat. It had to have been Tinfoil Hat. And they had a guest on there. I don't remember which episode. It was one of the most recent ones. And the guy was talking about, they had made a replica of the Ark of the Covenant. And it was sitting in Mar-a-Lago, of all places. And they put like a Torah inside of it. and apparently it started resonating and doing all this weird shit. So I had to cover this, man. This is like Indiana Jones type shit, man. And it just, if we have time, we'll jump into this too. But it reminded me of like, why is there all these weird connections with Donald Trump and weird shit like Tesla, Donald Trump's uncle, when Nikola Tesla died, went in and raided Nikola Tesla's apartment, got all these like top secret text and inventions that the dude was working on, apparently a death ray. So we'll get into that if you don't know that story. It's fucking crazy and it's weird. So let's get into it. So Joe Rogan reveals what he would build if he had Trump money. So apparently this was brought up on the Joe Rogan podcast. I used to be a big fan of Joe Rogan when I first started getting into listening to podcasts. And then I found like Tinfoil Hat, and I honestly ain't gonna lie, I don't really listen to Joe Rogan anymore. And it's nothing wrong with him. He's got a good podcast, you know, it's the greatest one in the world, top podcast ever, but it's just not conspiratorial enough for me, you know. I prefer conspiracy podcasts. So Joe Rogan has revealed that he would have a replica of the Ark of the Covenant built for his home if he had as much money as President Donald Trump. The Ark of the Covenant is a lost biblical chest that is said to contain ancient relics, including the Ten Commandments. The Old Testament states that the Ark was recovered by the Israelites after it was lost in a battle with the Philistines. I believe it was Goliath who was the general of the Philistines. I'm not sure if that's when. It wouldn't have been then that the Ark was lost because David cut off Goliath's head. We covered another relic too, the Sword of Goliath. Go check that episode out if you're listening on Spotify. I'll link it below. It's cool shit. I love like relics and Shroud of Turin and Holy Grail. I've covered a lot of that throughout the years. Following divine intervention, the Ark, said to be made of wood and solid gold, has returned and kept at Kiriath Jearim before being moved to King Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. It was then lost after the Babylonians destroyed Jerusalem. And Solomon's temple, if you know, we've discussed on this channel. Actually, I'm wearing a tetragrammaton. Supposedly, he had a magic ring, which was the tetragrammaton. He summoned 72 demons, bound them in magic circles, and they became his slaves. That's how the temple was built. Ties in with Freemasonry, Kebra Nagast, witchcraft, you know. As far as the greater key and lesser key of Solomon, it's a whole nother rabbit hole. Rogan discussed the Ark during a recent episode of his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. Speaking with his guest, Hunter, and a TV personality, Michael Waddell, I don't know who these people are, Rogan said that the ancient chest is rumored to be housed and heavily guarded at a specific church in Ethiopia. Which, by the way, that church, man, all of the monks who are protecting the Ark have all went like blind and have cataracts, and if you dive into like Eric von Daniken's work, which I love, Ancient Astronaut Theory, he puts forth the proposition that the Ark of the Covenant is like some form of ancient high technology as far as like maybe like a nuclear reactor, a nuclear weapon, yeah, a machine. Well, I mean, it's kind of like what Sam Tripoli says, that they're hardwiring mysticism. And I truly do believe that. I mean, if you get down to like looking at microchips and sigils from old grimoires like Lesser and Greater Keys of Solomon, the microchips match sigils, like demon sigils and shit. It's fucking insane. Same with emojis on your phone. Literally, when you're texting people emojis, you're texting fallen angel sigils. Most people don't even know. When you really start digging into it, it's very fascinating that this one particular place has been protected for so long, he said. Trump apparently has like a model of the Ark of the Covenant in Mar-a-Lago, Rogan says, in reference to Trump's estate in Palm Beach, Florida. Rogan then asked his producer, Jamie, pull it up, Jamie, to pull up the information on the internet. After a photo was pulled up of what was described to be a replica of the Ark at Mar-a-Lago, Rogan called it pretty fucking wild, which it is, man. Jamie then interjected, it might have just been there temporarily. It looks like that might be on display at Mar-a-Lago. I used to live in Florida. How fucking cool would it have been to, like, go to Mar-a-Lago and check out this replica of the Ark of the Covenant? Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, dude, I'd be a little fearful, man, because, I mean, supposedly the Ark, like, you weren't allowed to touch it, you weren't allowed to open it, or else you'd die immediately. And like I said, the people being around it, like, went blind and shit in this church in Ethiopia, so it's interesting stuff. Oh, so it's a replica that travels around. Is that what it is? Rogan responded, prompting Jamie to say that he couldn't find any information confirming that the replica lives at Mar-a-Lago. But there's definitely, obviously, people with pictures of it. Bro, if I had Trump money, I'd have one built, Rogan said. I ain't gonna lie, dude, I don't totally get that, man, because, like, I've always said, I would be like, fucking Nicolas Cage if I was, like, a millionaire, because, like, Nicolas Cage buys, he actually, like, was struggling financially, because he kept buying haunted houses. He had a pyramid built that he wanted to be put in when he dies, like, just weird, crazy shit. I would be doing the same thing if I was a millionaire. I'd be buying, like, haunted objects, occult items, haunted houses, like, yeah, I would be. But here's the thing, though, if I did do that, like, I would open it up for tours and shit, so that way, like, I would buy Witch's Castle, and then open it up for tours, clean it up, open it up for tours, put a little gift shop there, so that way you get your money back, you know. That's where Nicolas Cage fucked up, is he would buy these haunted houses and then just stay in them himself and not open it up to the public, and it's like, well, now you're not going to get your money back, and you have a collection of haunted houses, you know. So, bro, if I had Trump money, I'd have one built, Rogan said, who supported Trump in the recent presidential election, said, like, make me another one of these, come on. I do wonder if he's regretting voting for Trump. Voters regret. My wife voted for him, and I wanted RFK. That was my boy. But then he dropped out, so I didn't vote. I did vote for Trump the election before when it got stolen. I am curious, though. I'd have to ask my wife, too, like, if she has voter regrets. Not to, like, rub it in or anything, but just curious, because, dude, Trump has, like, it sucks, man. Like, protecting pedophiles, it's not looking good. There's a lot of people, I think, right now with voters regret. Newsweek has contacted a representative of Trump via email for comments. It's a cool thing to have on display, he added, before returning the conversation to the Ark's rumored location in Ethiopia. All that ancient civilization stuff is so fun because it's really kind of a mystery, you know, the former Fear Factor host said. They're going all the way back to Fear Factor. After several years of being described as a billionaire, Trump stated in a March 2024 post on his Truth Social platform, "Through hard work, talent, and luck, I currently have almost $500 million in cash." a substantial amount of which I intend to use in my campaign for president. A $500 million figure Trump cited appears to only refer to cash, not necessarily real estate and other assets that could further increase his wealth. Yeah, he's got a retarded amount of money. I don't see why that matters. Trump shared the post after Judge Arthur Engoron. Goron. Isn't that like a Titan or something? Or am I thinking Gorgon? In February, found Trump, his adult sons, Donald Jr. and Eric, and the Trump Organization liable for a scheme in which the value of Trump's net worth and assets were unlawfully inflated to obtain more favorable business deals. You know what I love, too, is Trump has literally said in the past, like, I think it was on the campaign trail, he's like, yeah, I know how to work the system. I've been doing it for years. Like, and he kind of got, like, an applause, and everyone kind of, like, mad respected him for it, which I ain't gonna lie, dude. I kind of agree with what Sam Tripoli says is, like, so, like, Biden and the Democrats and, like, Hillary and all them, like, he says it's basically, like, Trump is kind of like a mob boss, going against satanic pedophiles, allegedly. And he's kind of right, but I don't know. I used to kind of agree with it, but now looking at the whole Epstein shit, where he's protecting the Epstein files from getting released and shit, it's starting to look like he might be a satanic pedophile too, allegedly. Just saying. But yeah, he's definitely a mob boss. He knows how to fucking wheel and deal and work the system. So, yeah. Donald Trump was ordered to pay a $464 million fine and was banned from the New York real estate business for 3 years. That figure has now risen to $489 million with interest. The order stems from a lawsuit brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James, in which Trump has maintained his innocence. President's-elect lawyers have appealed the ruling. So, I found that super interesting. A replica of the Ark of the Covenant in Mar-a-Lago. Does anybody else find that fucking weird? Let's get into Tesla, though. This is not the only weird thing that Trump has surrounding him. Obviously, Nikola Tesla is a huge name in the conspiracy community as far as alternative electricity, technology. Some people say he was a Venetian. Some people say he was Tartarian. Whole thing's fucking weird. I'm actually a huge fan of Tesla, but Donald Trump's uncle raided Tesla's apartment when he died and got all this top secret paperwork. Where that is now, I have no clue. But if you don't know the story, we're going to delve into it for a little bit. How Nikola Tesla and Donald Trump are connected. On January 9th, 1943, 2 days after Nikola Tesla died, destitute in a New York City hotel, the FBI called MIT professor and esteemed electrical engineer John G. Trump to determine if any of the belongings in the inventor's estate, which included a purported weapon of mass destruction, Tesla called the death ray, would be dangerous if they fell into enemies' hands. Yet, Tesla was building a fucking death ray, dude. How badass is that? I'm sorry, like, they did say, like, Tesla was building all this utopian and beautiful stuff when he was younger, but the older he got, I don't know if he was becoming callous or just more cynical, but he started building darker and darker inventions, like warfare type shit. It's very interesting. After a 3-day investigation, Trump, in fact, the late uncle Donald J. Trump, determined there was no risk. It turned out that Tesla never actually made his death ray, supposedly. Still, the mystery and exaggerated claims, along with the soaring success and failures associated with Tesla, an eccentric Serbian-American polymath futurist, And by the way, he was a good futurist. A lot of people, that word sadly has been demonized because all of the futurists now are all dystopian psychopaths who want like Blade Runner, Minority Report. Dystopia. He actually wanted a utopia. Continue to be played out today on a scale that only he could have imagined. The two high-profile electric vehicle companies, one named after the inventor's last name Tesla, headed up by Elon Musk, very much an intellectual descendant of the inventor, and another by Nikola, after his first name, would both be creating huge waves in headlines, though for very different reasons. 80 years later seemed to be beyond, yet for those who believed in the man and his vision, maybe it isn't so surprising. It's also the case that Tesla, brash and successful, and Nikola, speculative and troubled, both reflect facets of their namesake. It's perhaps poetic that Tesla's Musk sometimes spars with and sometimes emulates Professor Trump's nephew, the President of the United States. Here's a picture of Nikola Tesla if you've never seen him. Handsome fella. I'm a fan. Here's a bit more on Nikola Tesla, a visionary who, among countless other inventions and ideas, helped develop and commercialize the AC, or the alternative current electricity supply system, which is the superior of the two. Just saying. Tesla was a tall, reed-thin vegetarian who dined at Delmonico's restaurant nearly every night. Possessing an eidetic memory, Tesla was prone to fantastic claims and forever tapping Wall Street, including J.P. Morgan himself, for vast sums of money, in part because of his lavish spending. Trivia alert, Tesla was played by David Bowie in Christopher Nolan's The Prestige, while Ethan Hawke has the lead role in this year's Tesla. Also see The Current War. I'm going to have to look into that. David Bowie played Nikola Tesla in The Prestige. I've never seen The Prestige. I want to see that. I'm going to have to do that for the Conspiracy Cinema episodes we do. Go check out that playlist if you haven't. We basically cover conspiracy-related movies and shit, and review them and talk about them. Tesla also battled powerful rivals, including Marconi and Edison. Edison was a piece of fucking garbage, dude. Go look into, the current wars. Edison was, literally using alternative current and, electrocuting elephants and killing them. He was using it, wrong to prove, look, Tesla's alternative current, murders people and shit. And it's didn't you invent the electric chair? I'm just saying. Edison was a garbage person. And he used Tesla and then took all the credit. We'll have to do a whole episode on their rivalry. An endured love-hate relationship with the press, who called some of his works a hoax. Any of that sound familiar? Let's now flash forward to September of 2020. It would be an understatement to say Tesla and Nikola, the two EV companies that is, had a crazy week, yet in a way that's pretty much normal for both of them. So that's getting into the Tesla car. I wanted to hear more about the Trump shit, but I guess there's not really that much to say. Hang on just a second. So this is kind of interesting. On September 8th, GM CEO Mary Barra, just making sure the still recording, announced a partnership with Nikola, where GM would buy 11% of Nikola. So this is a company called Nikola, and work with the startup producing vehicles and batteries. Nikola's stock popped 50% on the news. I've never even heard of this company. Mere 2 days later, Hindenburg Research, which specializes in forensic financial research, published a damning 67-page report, Nikola, How to Parlay an Ocean of Lies, in a partnership with the largest auto OEM in America, stating that We believe Nikola is an intricate fraud built on dozens of lies over the course of its founders and executive chairman Trevor Milton's career. I have no clue who that is, but I'm going to look into it maybe. Nikola did not respond to a request for comment from Yahoo Finance regarding the Hindenburg report, but issued the statement on September 14th. Partial excerpt. Nikola believes the Hindenburg report and the opportunistic timing of its publication shortly after announcements of Nikola's partnership with General Motors and the resulting positive share price reaction was designed to produce a false impression to investors to negatively manipulate the market in order to financially benefit short sellers, including Hindenburg itself. So here's a Nikola truck. It's a semi-truck. I've never even heard of this company. That one slipped past my radar. Hindenburg and Nikola traded barbs back and forth for several days, while for her part, Barra insisted that GM did its due diligence. Still, last Sunday night, Milton stepped down as CEO and Gursky became the chief executive. Nikola's stock now trades at $19. Down from its high of 93. Oh, and the DOJ and SEC are investigating. So, having studied the Hindenburg report closely, there's nothing in there that points to Nikola's ability or inability to execute on the plan. 90+%. The argument made is that its founder, Nikola, has made untruthful statements or promised things that have not played out. And he resigned on the back of those, says Emmanuel Rosner, an analyst at Deutsche Bank. But if you go back to the arguments, there's nothing in there that gives investors clarity on whether Nikola can make hydrogen work or not. Nothing has changed made from this point of view. So this is a hydrogen car. Water, I'm guessing. Isn't it sad and crazy, too, that there have been multiple stories of people who have learned how to run cars off of water. And anytime there was one famous one, I swear it was back in the 80s or 90s. Maybe we'll do a whole episode on it, but this dude invented a car that runs on water. And he boasted about it. Like, it got put in a magazine, maybe like some science magazine or something. And like a couple months later, the dude like died mysteriously. He went to like a restaurant and was meeting with some dude, and he like either shook the guy's hand or was drinking coffee and like realized, oh shit, this guy just poisoned me. And like he ran out of the restaurant, was like, he's poisoned me, I'm gonna die, you know. And then like he died like immediately after, like a couple hours later or something. It was a really weird fucking story of like, hey dude, if you fuck with the oil industry, the automotive industry, we can't have people with cars that run on water, you know what I mean? Kill this motherfucker. I just find it kind of sad. Like, this isn't the first time, there's all sorts of technologies that people have created and they never get the credit for it, or they get killed off, allegedly. And then some evil corporation swoops in and gets all the credit for it, and they're like, yeah, we invented it, stealing their technology. Kind of goes back to the Donald Trump's uncle thing, of like his uncle going in and getting Tesla's technology. And how much of that technology are we seeing now? Either through the military or Lockheed Martin, the government using this technology. It's probably top secret. I mean, and it's all thanks to Tesla, you know. I don't know. The whole thing is just sad. It's crazy. But I wanted to it was brought to my attention. I didn't know that Trump had a replica of the Ark of the Covenant in Mar-a-Lago. I was like, this story's insane. I need to report on this. And it just reminded me of Trump's uncle raiding Tesla's paperwork and all that. One day we're gonna have to do an episode on the whole Ingersoll Lockwood shit, because that shit's insane. Elon Musk tied in with all of this, like the Tesla company. Um, he's got some Warner von Braun connections. Warner von Braun wrote a book, and the main character is Elon, and he saves humanity by building a civilization on Mars. Um, it's all fucking nuts, dude. Elon's grandpa was literally an archaeologist looking for Nephilim skeletons. Like, it's all fucking crazy. It's all fucking weird. We're gonna have to do more deep dives on just all of those different subjects. I'm sorry I'm like sporadic, but it's like conspiracy's a spider web, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think about all this. I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. And you all have an awesome fucking day.